everyone, it's Mike from Junkion Crafts and Builds, and it's October 2025, and we are ever closer to Halloween, one of the scariest times of the year for parents who have kids that eat too much sugar in the middle of the night. But it also means we get our October fallish, Halloweenish tradition from the Four Horsemen in regards to a new Figura Obscura action figure. Now for the fall, we finally have one of our cryptids in regards to the Jersey Devil. Now this was one that came in a limited stock sale, I think September-ish. So they came and went pretty quick. The all-in was really cool. It comes with a mug and a set of pins. I'll put those images here just because I don't have them down here in the workshop with me. But what I do have is the figure himself. And we're going to talk about it. But we have this really cool image of the Jersey Devil, Four Horsemen up here. This is a beautiful set of art. But we have, you know, this nice write-up from Jeremy Gerard in regards to the Jersey Devil. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's take the plastic off and start messing around with the Jersey Devil. Plastic's off. And let's see what we got here. Now this is another magnetized gatefold package here. And we'll kind of move this guy out of the way first. I'm not going to look at him. But here we go. Like I said, this is the entire spread of that Figura Obscura Jersey Devil. It looks really cool. I like it a lot. We got this little hint here of a little girl or lady there in the background. Oh, and that is a really nice spread inside here. Beautiful artwork as always. Just looks stellar. But we're not here for the artwork and the packaging. We're here for the figure. So, all right, let's see. I haven't looked at this yet. Eyes are closed as I'm putting them down. And there we go. This is, I know it's not doing much because it's so dark, but this is really nice packaging. Again, there's the image of the Jersey Devil head. Same information on the side, basically the same thing as the gatefold. So yeah, let's get him out. And here we are with the Jersey Devil out of his packaging. And again, he does not disappoint in regards to just the look and unique sculpture that the Four Horsemen do for their figures. They had a little more liberty to kind of do what they wanted to with this. And I think it speaks volumes for Eric Treadaway in regards to how he designed this figure. So getting in close, just to look at the sculpt, we have this really gorgeous head. Kind of has this nose, you know, the nose ring, and then these teeth protruding out under the bottom of the upper lip. Nice red eyes, horns. I mean, this is a really neat sculpt, to say the least. And then we have this large fur piece going around the back. Obviously the holes for some of the accessories. But this torso in and of itself, just this dark black skin, is really nice. Now this is the torso and arms piece from the other Figura Obscura release, which was Frankenstein's Creature, which came out last year. And we're getting a retail version, I think, in green here soon. But just the smoothness of this skin is like a real leathery feel to it. It's just awesome. We've got some veins coming through. It's cool how they took the same body for Frankenstein's Creature and took away all like the scars and stitches and stuff. But again, just looking at that, just how the light hits the texture of the skin, really nice. You know, we got these clawed hands here, nice long lanky arms. This overlay is a softer rubber, and that's a new piece as well, I believe. And it's cool how it transitions from like the flesh tone to like the fur, the lines around it. We got a port in the back for another accessory that I'll show you. And then we have these newly sculpted legs. Again, just nice look overall with like all the fur that's been sculpted in. And just the articulation points. These are the new double jointed knees, but these are really nice. You know, it really increases the level of posability you can do on this figure. Then we got the cloven hooves. These are new because most of the hooves they've had in the past have been like armored and such. So this is the first time we'll get something really like this. So like I said, going back, you can really get them into some truly unique poses. You know, there are going to be some limitations, and I'll talk about that in articulation. All right, so before we get some of the accessories on them, let's talk about some of the articulation that comes with this guy. And we'll get in close again, starting with that head. We are on a ball peg here that's attached to this piece. I think it's, I'm sure you can take it off, but I don't feel the need to. But I think that there's a, you know, ball peg system going into this. You're not going to get any movement out of here. All the movement is going to be up in this ball peg. And, you know, it slides in well enough, and you can get a fair amount of movement. Oops, it does pop off a little easy. Some movement and such within that ball peg system form. Arms, like I said before, we can go all the way around. We can, after you heat them up a little bit more, you can get almost a T pose. I don't want to push it on this one yet till I heat them up a little more. No bicep. Everything is going to be in this single jointed elbow, which gets you about 90. And then you get the elbow swivel there. And that's for both sides. Wrists rotate, and these are on a horizontal hinge for these two hands here. So you can kind of reach in and grasp, holding. We have a ball peg here at the bottom of the torso. You can twist all the way around. With that, you can kind of rear back. Before you break the sculpt, you can go back that far. There, help you out. Go back that far. You can come forward, and then like this crouch. Whoops, the head keeps popping off. About that far. Like I said, you can kind of, not really any side to side. So, legs are on their typical horseman hinges. You can go out that far. You can kick up about that far. Put the legs all the way up. Back that far. We have a upper cut here in the thigh for a thigh swivel. We have, like I said, those double jointed knees that you can get a really decent range. And then in combination with the lower leg here and that, you can kind of get them in a really nice crouching pose, you know. And then the ankles, we have our detent that goes down that far. You can click up about 3, so you can get like that. And then it has pivot as well. So again, a lot of new pieces and parts for the Horseman inventory that allows you to kind of get some really interesting poses for this guy. So the first accessory we're going to talk about is an alternate head. So you can see this one here has kind of got a closed mouth, just kind of staring you down look. But if we take that head off, we have an alternate yelling head. This is a really fantastic looking sculpt. Just awesome. I mean, the way the mouth is all open, you've got a slight sheen inside the mouth for, like, you know, saliva and all that stuff. Got these teeth that are popping out here on both the upper and lower jaw. Just a really nice menacing scream. You can definitely see like how the sculpt changes around the eyes, and they narrow down. So just really cool. And then putting it on the body. There we go. Again, that's really frightening. In addition to the alternate head, you get this nice like skull head here. I'm not sure what animal it looks like. Really nice sculpt work. The wash over this, I know my red light's kind of bleeding it out, but the wash over this is really nice. Just beautiful sculpt work as usual. And yes, it can fit on the Jersey Devil's neck ball peg. Looks a little weird, but also very frightening in regards to that. It's definitely smaller. You're going to see more of the lollipop than you normally would. So there's that. Put the head back on. But really, I think it's more like an accessory piece for him to hold. And that's what we have in these pliable hands. So, I mean, he can sit here and look at it and scream at it. Ah. In addition to the open gesture hands, you get a pair of gripping hands. Both of them are on horizontal hinges as well. So those are neat if you want to like have them holding something or whatever else. Speaking of holding something, let's look at the next accessories. He comes with 2 clubs. The first one here looks like it's a longer animal bone of some type. But again, the sculpt work and the wash on this really sells it. It looks really, really gnarly. And then we have this leather strap wrapped around the bone for some sort of, for a grip. And then our second club is like this really neat jawbone type of thing. You can definitely see the curvature here. We've got some teeth sculpted in, and then the other part of this kind of wrapped around here at the end with more of that leather strap sculpt work. But yeah, definitely more like this is a more blunt blunt blade, obviously, but still these pair really nice together. So we got both those, and of course he can hold both them in those item holding hands really well. Some of the last accessories help flesh out the description of the Jersey Devil, and that first one is this bendy tail here. Definitely looks nice. Again, sculpted across here with this fur texture and this 3-pronged or protruding end here. Like I said, it is a bendy wire. And here he is with that tail attached. Looks really neat. I like how it all kind of ties together. But we're not done yet. We have another accessory that helps flesh this out, and it is a pair of wings. Now these we've seen before with some of the other Legion's figures, including the unknown one, I believe is what his name is. But what we have this time is a nice translucent plastic for these. Really brings out that leather style wing. It does have an articulation joint here to spread the wing out or kind of close it down here around the back. And then we have our port here on the end of the wing, and that has a hinge as well. And here's the Jersey Devil, finally decked out with wings, tail, head, hands, you name it, he's here, and it looks really, really nice. I love the translucent wings. I love how you can kind of, if with the right lighting, you can definitely get them all sorts of, gooled up and such. I love the bendy tail. You can get that manipulating around fairly well. And he's really stable. I mean, with the weight of the wings on those cloven hooves on my soft felt bottom here, he's standing relatively without fail. Our last accessory that we come with, he has a figure stand. Now these are the Four Horsemen stands. People have seen these before, again, since 2014, but it's just, simple plastic, kind of like a satin sheen. And then it has these 2 prongs that you can elevate and take out if you wish. But it's just on that little, nub there. And you can use it to hold your Jersey Devil up. If you want to do like a flight pose or something like that, you can definitely do it. I'm not a big fan of stands, and this one takes up a lot of space for what I would use them for. But it's cool that you have that. It's cool to have options. Options are good. Say you have this guy, you still don't know a lot about him. Well, the Horseman, with all Figura Obscura stuff, provides you with a small booklet that talks about the Jersey Devil. And again, this has all been copyright written. The content by Jeremy Gerard, artwork by Tom Tolman. There he is, Tom Tolman and Nate Barch, designed by Eric Treadaway, and then the Horsemen, them themselves. But this is a really cool looking book that talks about the Jersey Devil, some of the original artwork from the Philadelphia Bulletin, 1909. Talking about how, Benjamin Franklin is tied into the legend of the Jersey Devil. We have a map showing all the, potential locations from the Leeds Point and Leeds home all through Jersey. And these dots indicate where the Jersey Devil has been sighted and such. There's the family crest, the Leeds family. And again, some more beautiful artwork. It says in more modern times, the Jersey Devil's become a cultural icon alongside other popular cryptids like Bigfoot, Mothman, and the Loch Ness Monster, and others. One need only look to the professional hockey team of New Jersey to see the New Jersey Devils moniker in use. That's cool. I didn't know that. The Jersey Devil is also the name of one of the world's fastest single-rail roller coasters located in Six Flags in New Jersey. The park actually has an entire section named the Pine Barrens. That's neat. Popular media shows have had the Jersey Devil in their lore, between cartoons, X-Files, Shadows, Gravity Falls, everything else. So, very cool. Here's some other artwork. I love this design. Really cool. He's even, a little bit like a leprechaun. So, and then we talk about the Four Horsemen and their history, but it's a nice little book. I really appreciate these things because there's some parts I don't know, and it's nice to get a little bit of a content dump on the figure that you just bought. So that's my thoughts on the Figura Obscura Jersey Devil from the Four Horsemen Studios. It's really neat. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it when the pre-orders came up, because it's such an obscure figure. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the Jersey Devil per se. He's kind of sparse in regards to accessory counts. Some of them, that from last year, like I said, with Frankenstein's creature, we got pretty much an entire lab breakout. And then earlier this year with Ganesha, we have all those different accessories that came with that figure. This guy felt a little light, even with the inclusion of a stand to hold him on. Now that he's in hand, I can definitely see the nuance of this guy. The actual sculpt work is amazing in regards to taking some existing inventory, doing some manipulation, and then reprinting it, and you can create an entire new figure from it. And the new pieces in regards to the legs, especially with those double jointed knees, that's kind of a game changer in regards to not only fans of Legions, but also those that were critical of like the articulation limitations that their figures had. This is kind of like getting into that more modern feel that people have been asking the Horsemen to do for a while. And we're going to see more of that in regards to the Rising Sun wave, Rising Suns, and also Rise of the Beasts, because we're going to have, figures coming now with double jointed elbows, a little more articulation in those legs. So this is a cool step and a good introduction for fans to kind of get ready for the next evolution of Four Horsemen figures. So I don't know if these are going to be available at Legions Con here 2025. Like I said, I know it was a limited run that they had earlier this fall. I'm really happy I got this. Is the Jersey Devil something that you are aware of? What other cryptids would you like them to create for your collections? Just let me know in the comments. Also, do you want me to do more Mythic Legion stuff? Because I know I do a lot of action figure related stuff, but I also have a large Mythic Legions collection. I just haven't really been doing it because there's so many amazing Legions-centric YouTubers out there that give you a much better view of this than I have starting out. But if it's something that interests you guys, I will definitely start, showing off more of my collection, some retro figures and stuff, and definitely look at some of the customization options from great creators and other talented individuals within the Legions world. But yeah, that's everything, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, hype, all the usual jargon I've been talking about lately. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.